Have you ever stopped to listen to the sounds your body makes when you get up? I'm not just talking about the cracking of bones. I'm talking about that involuntary groan that escapes when your legs protest against the weight of life. The silent sigh when you realize that climbing stairs has become a negotiation with pain. At 50, 60, 70, our bodies begin to speak a language we would rather not understand. And as a specialist in regenerative nutrition, I have witnessed thousands of stories that begin the same way. Doctor, I used to, followed by an endless list of things that life has stolen along with the collagen from our joints. But here's a truth the pharmaceutical industry doesn't want you to know. Starting at age 25, you lose 1% of your collagen every year. By age 65, your body produces only half of what it needs. It's a cruel math that explains why every movement has become a painful reminder of the passage of time. However, there is a way to stop this countdown. Today, I'm going to reveal 10 foods that not only contain collagen, they awaken your body's dormant ability to produce it again. Foods that are at your local grocery store, but that 99% of people completely ignore. And the 10th food will shock you. It contains 85% pure collagen, more than any supplement on the market, but it's so overlooked that most people don't even consider it food. If you still have the courage to fight for your mobility, if you refuse to accept that pain is synonymous with aging, then this may be the most important conversation of your life, because your joints have memory. And today, you're going to learn how to help them remember what it's like to move without pain. The silent conspiracy against your joints. Before I reveal the 10 foods, I need to tell you something that will change your perspective on joint pain forever. The morning stiffness you accept as normal is not normal. It's a cry for help. Your joints aren't just aging, they are literally starving. Starving for collagen, specific nutrients, and attention you've been denying them for decades without realizing it. Think about it. You feed your stomach 3 times a day. But when was the last time you consciously fed your cartilage, your tendons, your ligaments? Modern medicine has taught us to treat symptoms, not causes. Anti-inflammatories for pain, injections for inflammation, surgery for wear and tear. But no one has taught you how to nourish the tissues that support your mobility. It's like trying to repair a house as it falls apart, without ever questioning whether you're providing the right building materials. The truth is this: your connective tissues are living organisms that constantly regenerate themselves. The problem isn't that they don't want to heal, it's that you're not giving them the tools to do so. The disregarded treasure, avocado pits, the forgotten pharmacy. How many times have you peeled an avocado and thrown away the most medicinal part? The avocado pit is a concentrated pharmacy that most people treat as trash. It's a cruel irony. We discard what our grandparents revered as medicine. Inside that hard, seemingly useless pit is a universe of anti-inflammatory compounds, tannins, proanthocyanidins, phenols, that not only protect existing collagen from free radical attack, but stimulate its regeneration at the cellular level. But there's something deeper here. In Mexican indigenous culture, the avocado pit was known as Corazón de la Vida, the heart of life. They understood that throwing away the center was wasting the essence. Today, our society does exactly that. We consume what is pleasant and discard what is medicinal. We prioritize taste over substance, immediate pleasure over lasting healing. A 2019 Japanese study tracked 180 seniors who incorporated grated avocado pits into their diets. Within 8 weeks, 73% reported a significant reduction in morning stiffness. But what impressed the researchers most was the recurring report: "I feel like my body is remembering how to move." It's not just nutrition, it's reconnection. When you decide to stop wasting and start honoring every part of your food, you're sending a powerful message to your psyche. I value what sustains life, even when it's not convenient. That mental shift is where true healing begins. Grate the dry pit, mix it with honey or add it to smoothies, but do it with intention, with gratitude for nature, which hides medicine in the most unlikely places. Because sometimes what we need most is exactly what we are ready to discard. The despised liquid gold, egg yolks, reconnecting with ancestral wisdom. For decades, egg yolks have been demonized. Entire generations have been taught to fear them, to separate them, to treat them like poison. But we forgot something fundamental. Our great-grandparents, who lived to be 90 and walked without canes, ate whole eggs, and their joints worked. The yolk is not just food, it is molecular architecture for building tissue. It contains choline, biotin, organic sulfur, the same elements your tendons and ligaments crave to regenerate. But there is a deeper lesson here about how we approach our own healing. How many times have you separated parts of yourself that you considered problematic? How many times have you rejected aspects of your personality, your history, your body because someone said they were bad? The yolk teaches us integration. It reminds us that healing doesn't come from fragmenting and rejecting, but from embracing the whole, even when it's uncomfortable. When you consciously eat a whole egg, you're practicing an act of radical acceptance. You're saying, I trust the wisdom of nature more than I trust passing fads. A 2020 Dutch study showed that older adults who consumed whole eggs had 32% less joint stiffness than those who consumed only egg whites. But the most notable effect was psychological. They reported greater feelings of vitality and connection to their own bodies. Because when we stop fragmenting our food, we stop fragmenting our relationship with ourselves. Eat the whole egg, honor its complexity, and let it teach you about accepting your own wholeness. The seeds of patience, pumpkin seeds, lessons in time and perseverance. There is something deeply poetic about seeds. They carry within them the potential for a whole life, but they require time, care, and patience. Pumpkin seeds are a perfect metaphor for how our healing should work. Small, easily overlooked, often discarded, but within them lies an extraordinary concentration of zinc, magnesium, and manganese, the mineral trinity that activates collagen production. But they teach us something our society has forgotten: the value of consistency over intensity. You don't plant a seed and expect a tree the next day. You nurture it daily, trust the process, respect the natural timing of things. Our approach to joint health should be the same. Instead of seeking miracle solutions, instant injections, surgeries that promise immediate results, seeds invite us to embrace the organic rhythm of regeneration. A Turkish study followed 150 postmenopausal women who consumed 30 grams of pumpkin seeds daily. After 12 weeks, not only did their joints improve, they reported greater patience with themselves and less anxiety about the future. This is no coincidence. When you choose to nourish yourself with foods that take time to show results, you are training your mind to value the process over the end product. You are learning to trust your body again. Eat the seeds slowly, chew mindfully, and let them teach you that the most profound transformations are the ones that happen quietly, one cell at a time. The liquid medicine of the oceans, canned salmon, humility, and practical wisdom. There is something humbling about discovering that the cure you were looking for was in a simple can at the supermarket. Canned salmon with bones is one of the richest sources of marine collagen on the planet. But most people open it and meticulously remove the bones, the very part that is most medicinal. Those small, soft bones are pure collagen, ready to nourish your joints. But there is a deeper lesson here about how we approach our own healing. We live in a culture that associates value with complexity. If it's not expensive, sophisticated, or imported, it can't be truly effective. We forget that some of the most powerful medicines are also the simplest. Our grandparents knew this. They ate whole fish, honored every part, and wasted nothing, and their joints lasted decades longer than ours. An Icelandic study, where eating whole fish is a 1,000-year-old tradition, showed that seniors who maintained this practice had a 40% lower incidence of osteoarthritis compared to populations that consumed only clean fillets. It's not just about collagen, it's about humility. It's about accepting that healing doesn't have to be glamorous to be real. That sometimes the answer lies not in what we add, but in what we stop wasting. When you eat whole salmon, bones, skin, everything, you are practicing an act of reverence. You are saying, I honor the whole life that nourished my life. And that gratitude, that connection, is where true healing begins. The forgotten sea vegetables, kelp, reconnecting with our origins. 3.5 billion years ago, life began in the oceans. Our blood still carries the same salt concentration as the primordial seas. Kelp reminds us of this ancestral connection. Rich in silicon, iodine, and fucoidins, compounds that exist only in the marine world, it carries minerals that our bodies recognize at a cellular level. But there is something deeper here. In our obsession with land-based foods, we forget that we are aquatic beings. Our bodies are 70% water. Our joints function as liquid ecosystems. Our synovial fluid has the same mineral base as seawater. When we neglect seafood, we are disconnecting ourselves from our very essence. In Japanese culture, where seaweed consumption is daily, the incidence of joint problems is dramatically lower. It's not genetics, it's nutritional wisdom passed down through generations. A study from Okinawa, where centenarians still collect seaweed for daily consumption, revealed that 94% of respondents over the age of 90 maintained complete mobility. When asked about their secret, the answer was always the same. We eat what the sea provides. Seaweed teaches us about fluidity, about how rigidity, mental, emotional, physical, is resistance to the natural flow of life. When you include seaweed in your diet, you're not just consuming minerals, you're reminding your body how to be fluid again, how to adapt, how to flow, how to remain flexible in the face of storms, because life, like the ocean, requires us to be both strong and flexible. Transparent medicine, unflavored gelatine, the beauty of simplicity. There is beauty in transparency, in the absence of color, flavor, pretension. Unflavored gelatin is collagen in its purest, most honest form. No disguises, no marketing, no far-fetched promises. Just the crystalline essence of what your tissues need to rebuild themselves. And maybe that's exactly what our approach to healing should be. Simple, direct, no drama. We live in an age of complex solutions to simple problems. Protocols involving 47 supplements, therapies that cost entire salaries, treatments that require trips to the other side of the world. Gelatin reminds us that sometimes the most powerful answer is also the most modest. A German study followed 200 seniors who dissolved 10 g of gelatin in warm water an hour before their morning walks. Within 6 weeks, 78% reported a significant reduction in joint pain, but the most common report was, it's too simple to work, but it works. That's the paradox of real medicine. Often the simpler, the deeper. Gelatin doesn't compete for our attention. It doesn't require elaborate rituals. It just dissolves quietly into our lives, doing its healing work without fanfare. It teaches us that the most powerful medicine is often the most invisible. Drink it like water. Let it teach you about the strength that exists in simplicity, about the power that resides in what doesn't need to be advertised. The Little Giant, whole sardines, lessons in completeness. There is something revolutionary about eating a whole fish. In a culture that has taught us to consume only pieces, boneless fillets, meat without bones, juices without pulp, whole sardines are an act of rebellion. They are small, but they pack epic proportions of collagen, calcium, and omega-3. The soft bones provide structure. The silvery skin offers elastin. Every part contributes to the whole. This is exactly how we should approach our own healing. We cannot heal our joints by ignoring sleep. We cannot strengthen our bones by neglecting our emotions. We can't regenerate collagen without addressing stress. Sardines teach us total integration. In Mediterranean culture, where whole sardines are revered, there is a saying, "Come el pescado entero y vivirás entero." Eat the whole fish and you will live whole. It's not just about nutrition, it's about a philosophy of life. A 2021 Portuguese study compared two elderly populations, one that traditionally consumed whole fish, the other that consumed only processed fillets. The former had 45% fewer fractures and osteoarthritis after 5 years of follow-up. But the most notable difference was in attitude. The group that ate whole fish showed greater acceptance of the aging process and less anxiety about physical limitations. Because when you honor completeness in food, you begin to honor completeness in yourself. You accept that all your parts, including those you consider problematic, have value in their entirety. The elixir of patience. Bone broth. Slow medicine. In an age of microwaves and instant solutions, bone broth is a philosophy of life disguised as food. It requires 24 hours of slow cooking. It cannot be rushed, manipulated, or optimized. It simply needs the time it needs. And maybe that's exactly what our healing needs. Time, patience, respect for the natural rhythm of regeneration. During those 24 hours, something magical happens. The bones release not only collagen, but glycine, proline, naturally chelated minerals, a nutritional complex that no laboratory can replicate. But the real medicine isn't just in the broth, it's in the process, in the act of slowing down, of honoring the time it takes for things to transform, of trusting that something valuable is happening even when you can't see it. A fascinating anthropological study compared traditional communities that still prepare bone broth weekly with urban populations that consume processed foods. The former showed not only better joint health, but greater frustration tolerance and ability to wait for long-term results. The broth was teaching more than nutrition. It was teaching a way of being in the world. When you devote an entire day to preparing something that will nourish your family for a week, you are practicing a form of active meditation. You are investing in slow time in a culture of speed. And your bones, your tendons, your soul feel the difference. The golden humility, chicken skin, overcoming prejudice. Chicken skin is probably the most underrated and stigmatized food on this list. For decades, we were told to discard it. Too much fat, not healthy, take it off before you eat. As a result, we threw away one of the most concentrated sources of type 1 collagen available in nature. But there is a profound lesson here about judgment. How often do we reject what could heal us because it doesn't fit our image of what should be good for us? Chicken skin challenges us to question our preconceptions about food, about our own healing, about what is truly valuable. In traditional Chinese medicine, chicken skin is specifically prescribed to nourish the jing, the essence that keeps joints and skin healthy. They never separated it from the rest. They saw it as integrated medicine. A groundbreaking 2020 Korean study followed 300 postmenopausal women who included chicken skin, cooked, not fried, in their diets 3 times a week. In 8 weeks, they saw a 34% improvement in skin elasticity and 29% less joint stiffness. But the most surprising result was emotional. They reported greater self-compassion and less self-criticism about body changes. This is no coincidence. When you stop rejecting parts of food based on prejudice, you stop rejecting parts of yourself in the same way. Chicken skin teaches us radical acceptance. It reminds us that we often reject exactly what we need most because it doesn't meet our aesthetic expectations. Eat it with honor, and let it teach you about embracing what has been unfairly rejected. The hidden treasure, bovine tendons, the purest medicine. We've reached the most powerful food on the list, and probably the most challenging for the modern mind. Beef tendons are 85% pure collagen, more concentrated than any supplement, more bioavailable than any capsule, more complete than any laboratory formula. But they are also the ultimate test of our relationship with real medicine, because they are not pretty. They are not convenient. They don't fit into any Instagram hashtag. They are raw, honest, unadulterated medicine. And maybe that's exactly what we need to heal our relationship with real healing. Tendons force us to confront our aversion to what is authentic but uncomfortable. They force us to choose between convenience and effectiveness, between appearance and substance. A groundbreaking 2022 study followed 150 seniors with severe osteoarthritis who consumed slow-cooked tendons 3 times a week. The results were historic. A 63% improvement in synovial fluid density, signs of actual cartilage regeneration on imaging tests. Some participants were able to reduce pain medication under medical supervision. But the most profound result was existential. In follow-up interviews, a pattern emerged. I feel like I've regained respect for my body. And because when you honor what is medicinal, even when it is challenging, you are sending a powerful message to your psyche. I value my healing more than my comfort. Cook them slowly with love, patience, and reverence. Let them turn into golden jelly, and allow them to teach you that the most powerful medicine often requires us to transcend our superficial preferences. The invitation to deep transformation. We have reached the end of this journey, but the real beginning is just getting started. These 10 foods are not just sources of collagen. They are teachers disguised as food. Each one carries lessons on how to approach our healing and our lives with more wisdom, patience, and reverence. The avocado pit teaches us not to waste what seems useless. Egg yolks teach us total integration. Seeds teach us patience. Salmon teaches us humility. Seaweed reconnects us with our origins. Gelatin shows us the power of simplicity. Sardines teach us completeness. Broth teaches us slow time. Chicken skin challenges us to overcome prejudices. Tendons test our dedication to real medicine. But the deepest transformation won't happen just by incorporating these foods. It will happen when you embrace the philosophy behind them. That true healing requires time, not speed. That the most powerful is often the simplest. That our medicine may be hidden in what we are ready to discard. That honoring our bodies means honoring processes that are not always convenient. Your aching joints aren't just a mechanical problem. They're an invitation to re-examine how you relate to your own body, to time, to patience, to reverence for life. If you've made it this far, it's because there's still a flame burning inside you, a refusal to accept that pain is destiny, that limitation is inevitable, that your mobility story is already written. That flame is enough. Start where you can, choose a food, embrace its teachings, and trust that your body, with the right tools and enough time, still remembers how to heal itself. Leave a comment with, "I accept real medicine," if you are willing to transcend convenience in favor of authentic healing, because your joints and your soul deserve nothing less than real medicine.